welcome to another RiderCamTV video, and today we're really fortunate to be down at Ocean BMW in Falmouth with Chris behind the camera. Chris is one of the awesome salespeople that works at Ocean. The best job in the world, the only one today. And we've come to have a look at this. This is the BMW 2024 BMW 1300 GS Adventure. Doesn't it look sweet? Now this is the cooker room colour, the green. As you and I would know, green. They got some strange names, but it's green. It's got the option 719, so there are billeted reservoir caps. What else have we got? Oh, we've got a lovely plate saying option 719 there. Then we've got the levers as well, which is 719 levers in there, which look fab. Then we've got the foot pegs, and they've got, I think they've got option 719 there written there, which looks very cool. It just look, you know, the thing is with this bike, lots of people are saying, oh, you know, they've gone so radically different to the 1250, and they have. But if you look at the 1250 GSA, it's hideously, awfully looking that it's so good. It actually looks really good. In the flesh, I really like the look of this. It looks like a bit of a Lego brick, you know, like futuristic, but with a little bit of, I don't know, stuff from years ago, but they filled all these bits in. We've got a place to put a coffee cup when you stop. We always need that, especially us bikers. But there are so many options on this. So this is a TE version, isn't it, Chris? And the TE version comes with loads and loads of stuff, but then you can spec it up with options. So this one's got loads of options, isn't it? So the options this has got is the Aquapovic exhaust. Now, I think they look really good, but they probably sound much the same as the normal BMW can. I'll probably get shot now. It's also got wheels, which are forged enduro wheels, apparently. Normally you would get the spoked wheels, but this one's got the forged aluminium enduro wheels. Are they aluminium? Which actually look really good. These are easier to clean, aren't they? Much easier. It's also got the riding assistant, which has got active cruise control on the front and back. So if you come around the front, there's this massive blob. That's the active cruise control. And if it works anything like the RT, awesome. It's really awesome. And then round the back, as well as the front, you've got the blind spot detection, which then comes over to here because you've got the little triangles, which is really good. And it's good that they're building that into bikes now, because there's lots of different things like the Innovv blind spot detection. But if you've got it in the bike, it's actually a really good thing because it's actually in the mirror rather than an add-on. Then you've got front and rear collision warning. And presumably that comes up on here and then does all its wizardry to slow you down and stop you crashing, which is brilliant. The active cruise control is amazing, especially on the RT, and I presume it's going to be the same on this one. It is really smooth. And when you then indicate to come out past, it then puts you back up to the speed that you were doing. So a lot better than just a normal cruise control. Really, really good. What else have we got? Adaptive ride height. Now this is going to cause controversy, isn't it? Because you can spec this bike up with so many things. It's so confusing. But it will go from 790mm all the way up to 915mm with different seat options. There are loads of them, but different height options as well, because you've got the suspensions that you can change, but also this one, when you come to a halt, it then lowers it down. So they're going from the very extreme of low right to the extreme of high, aren't they? Is that right, Chris? I'm looking at him, he's nodding, because this is so new. So this one's got about 145 brake horsepower and 140, if I can read my thing, 149 Newton meters of torque, and it weighs 269 kilos, which is about the same as the old one, isn't it? I remember mine was about 268. So it's about 1 kilo. So this is 1 kilo heavier. It's not worth it then, is it? Well, you get more for your money. And it's got the 30-litre tank in here as well. But there are loads of other things on it. So if you come around this side, Chris, does it come with this rack? So this is an optional extra for your top box, and it moves. And I'm guessing that that's much like the old side boxes that you could have that flap in the wind so it doesn't break. But underneath here, you get power. So that's powered, and then you get powered side on the near side, left side, this side here, which will be the bigger one, but you don't get it on the other side. But do you really need it in everything? I don't understand why you need power in top boxes really, other than to charge things. And you get all the racking. So the racking is for the new boxes. So let's hope that the problems that they've had with the GS boxes don't transpose over here. And I'm sure they won't. I haven't seen the boxes other than in pictures, and they actually look really funky. They look as though they match this bike. But if you go back down to the pots and stuff, this is the same material, and it's all cast, isn't it? This, all the frame and same material as the normal GS. So cleaning is much better. I think it looks really, really smart. The only thing I don't really like about it, and it's functional, is, or are, these little ears. They look very weird, but imagine when you're riding along on a long journey, you can put your feet up on them rather than slipping off the pots. That's really good. But apparently, therefore, if you roll the bike, they're to stop it rolling right over, aren't they? Therefore causing more damage. So they're actually quite functional, and they don't actually come out any further than the handlebars. So over to tech and stuff. So this is apparently a patented system with BMW that they've put in there that you can attach. I think there'll probably be tank bags and things like that that go onto there. You could even just hang your keys off there, couldn't you, on a lanyard? I don't know. But come this way, Chris, because this is quite exciting. So you get all these hooks, and on the spec, you can spec these hooks onto the side, but you have to do that when you get it from the factory. Otherwise, you've got to then spend a lot of money buying those parts. But I've got a 15 Pro Max. Look at this. It fits in, so it'll be able to be charged. How cool is that? And locked away. And you get a funky key. I think that looks really cool. But around the front, if you come around the front, these lights are awesome. Can I press the on button? Is that okay? Which is over here somewhere now, isn't it? Now, lots of people hate these lights. I think they look really, really cool. And if I can get the other ones to go on, you might have to just flash it. Have they come on now? So you get all of these are standard across all the models, don't you? And across all the models, have they got all this grille as well? So this is an added extra on here. Is it for the TE or is it for... So it's an optional accessory, but actually that'll give a lot of people a peace of mind, won't it? Although cleaning that, you're going to get a lot of wasps and flies caught in there, aren't you? But I really like the look of that, and they've kept the telelever front end, so you've got the really good steering, electric screen, awesome. I don't know whether it's going to work on here because I don't know how it's set. Oh, look at that. So you're not going to have to go out and buy aftermarket screens and fenders and stuff unless you're like 8 million miles tall. And all the tech on it is much the same as the 1250, isn't it? Although the tech wizardry inside there is much, much better. The engine's smoother, the ride is smoother, and it's all controlled from a familiar thing. And I think this thing, this TFT, is probably the industry leader on all the bikes. The font is brilliant, it's displayed really well. I perhaps would have liked to have seen a bigger screen and perhaps the sat-nav integrated, but not the BMW connected app. Perhaps TomTom or Garmin actually in it, which would be great. But you have got the option of your BMW Sat Prep, which is obviously an option, or does it come with TE? It comes with the TE, which is really good, and that's the standard one across the board, so you can fit the now 5, 6, and the new, whatever they're calling it, connected ride, thing that we did. But if you look at the styling of it, I'll turn it off so it doesn't go flat. The styling of it, I really like it. Is it all right if I sit on it? Are we allowed to? Right. So I'm going to take it off the stand now. They've let me do it. They don't realise I'm going to push it off and ride it home. Do you know that feels really nice? It feels lighter and lower than the 1250 GSA. I remember my GSA sort of being there. Like muscle memory, it's a lot lower. And it comes over a lot further. That side stand is almost like the really old GSAs. If you have a look, see that? See the bend in that? It's not as bad as or it's not as upright as the KTMs. I mean, they're like a little stick, aren't they? They almost stand it up. The old BMW GSAs used to have that bend in it before. I wonder why they put that back. But it goes over quite a way, doesn't it? Right, excited about this. Does it suit me? Wow. Do you know the overriding feeling that I get? I've never sat on this bike, not even before we filmed. It feels like a GS adventure. I know that sounds really weird, but I've had seven 1250 GSAs from here, I think 7, but this doesn't feel abnormal. It feels like I've just got on the 1250, but this feels lower. So if I'm sat there, it doesn't feel any different. The seat feels quite stiff, quite hard, but I guess you can get lots of different seats and lots of different things for it. But in terms of the visibility and stuff, that's exactly like I would imagine a 1250 GSA, or the 1250 GSA was. It just feels like I'm on a GSA. How weird. I didn't expect to feel that. I thought it was going to feel like clunky and weird. I feel quite at home at that. I do quite like it. How weird is that? That is really, really smart. I think this is quite nice. I think it's going to take quite a lot of getting used to, with the angles are really quite straight, whereas the old 1250s are like angled, aren't they? But with the straight lines here. But I reckon when you're riding along, the wind protection is going to be much better than the 1250 GSA. And like I say, on long rides, you can put your feet there now. I wonder what many people will have on this bike. Denali lights sticking off everywhere, making it look hideous. I actually think it looks really nice as it is. Really impressed with that. But this is a lot wider. My hips feel like they're going to pop themselves out, so you need to get used to riding the bike. This is a lot wider than the normal one, and a lot wider than the RT. But I guess once you get used to it, you get used to it. And I like what they've done down the front as well. They've got, I don't know whether you can see that, Chris, there's a plastic trim there. Now, that one of the things that I never really had a problem with, but lots of people on the 1250 had, was a lot of road noise coming up between all the plastics and the fairings. I think that's probably going to stop a lot of the noise coming up, and that's why they've put it there. But the engine will sound different anyway. Are we allowed to? He's just said I can start it up. Right. Are you ready for this? That is really smart, isn't it? I will turn it off though, because we'll kill everybody otherwise. But the tone of the engine is very different than the 1250. And I'm wondering what the tone will be like when you're riding it, whether it will feel like a 1250 in terms of the sound and that it's not abnormal. I wonder whether they've worked on the sound, because I think on the GS, the sound is very different when you're going along, and some people have said that it's a little bit annoying, how you can get annoyed by a sound when you've got earplugs in. I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see whether the characteristics of the engine when you're riding, especially with the quick shifter and stuff, will be as good as the 1250 or as I remember it. It should be better because it's newer, isn't it? Only thing I'm not sure about is why are they all going to have the ignition button up here when then you're losing a button? I forget what button was there before. It was the grips, wasn't it? So you can't get to the grips, so you've got to have your two-stage settings on your nav, haven't you? Not on your nav, on your switch gear here. So you've got your quick menu and you've got your slightly slower menu, I guess. So the quick menu you can have set. I'm not going to go into that now because it's the same as the GS. But you can have one on there and the other one on the other thing. But then I suppose it's as cumbersome as the RT, where I have to press the button or go through the settings to get to the heated grips. But it's standard switchgear from BMW, you know you're going to get quality. And I only say that because I've had so many of them, and I've only had one bike where I've had to have this replaced. So it shows you, out of all those bikes and all those miles I've done, how reliable it is. Really quite like it. What is that button? Ah, that's for your quick menu. Ah, so you've got a quick menu and then you're up and down and you set it through there. I don't know why there's no button there. That feels really weird. And because you're riding around having to fumble with a quick menu and something or then changing, you'd have to stop to set the slightly slower menu as well as the quicker menu, potentially. Especially if you're talking about different traction controls and stuff like that, you're going to have to stop to then set it rather than, I don't know. Perhaps it's something you get used to, I don't know. I would have liked to have had the button there. It's quite nice to press the button. And I wonder how many times when you're riding it, you're actually going to stop and go, oh, there's no button there, and then realise that it's on there. Overall, I think it's really, really nice. I can't wait to ride this bike. You know, even these, I'm going to turn it back on and see them flashing. They are bright. Now, there's a lot of people that were saying in forums and online, now that they've put them in there, you know, when you drop your bike, or if you drop your bike, it's going to be really expensive. But the Ducatis have got them in. I think some Triumphs have got some in. There's loads of bikes with these on there now. Actually, it's much better having them there than sticking off the side to get snapped off. I actually really like what they've done, to be honest. It's been a long time coming, isn't it? I think Chris and I might have to have some words after this video finishes. I don't know. It's very expensive, isn't it? What are we talking about? £23,000, £24,000 for a top spec bike? This one, I'm reliably told, is about £26,000. You can see what, oh, I didn't, look, every time you look around, there's something else. Look, so you can strap, do you know, that is really good, because how many times have you just had a bag to put on there, strapped it over there, but then it could slide off? That's really cool. See, it's the little details. Germans are good at details. Hence the fact they're good at making bikes, but it is quite heavy to get up. Just see what it's like to put on the centre stand. You even get a little thing to pull out. That's so much easier than the 1250. That is really cool. You'd think this day and age they'd have a little button that you just go park it up yourself, the wheels would come out and it'd go up. But that is really something special, isn't it? Right, I think you and I need to talk now, Chris. Apart from these things. Multifunctional lights. But that's much different. These are this must be the new generation, because the other ones were just in here, weren't they, the indicators, and now we've got proper indicators there. I'm not sure that I like the fact that it hasn't got a red light at the back. But they know what they're doing, these Germans. Awesome. Anyway, going to wrap it up there. What an amazing bike. Can we come and ride it? He's nodding. We'll come and ride it and we'll tell you what it's like and what we think about it. But for now, that's our first look at the BMW 1300 GS Adventure from 2024. And we're in Cornwall and we've managed to look at it at around about the same time as everybody else in the world. You know, wonders will never cease. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe and all that stuff, and we'll be back potentially riding it. Could it be ours?